Hi, friends, I'm Pool, and welcome to my hardcore series. I know what you're thinking. You're like, a hardcore series. Why? I don't know. Okay, listen, I don't know. My brain had a brain baby. It was like, I want to do a freaking hardcore series. And when I say a series, it's like, let's be fair, it might not be a series. It could be just, 1, 2, 3 episodes, and that will be the end of it. But if I will stay around longer, that'd be even more amazing. I will also say that I messed up my audio, so you have to listen to me doing a voiceover, meaning that I will most likely ramble about something and just forget that I was supposed to do the voiceover thing. So, yeah, let's just get into the video, okay? So let's begin with the beginning of, spawning into a world and noticing that, oh my god, I have the flattest seed ever. Being thankful for that, seeing floaty shit that just, great time. But I saw a village, went there, kind of noticed that I was experiencing a bit of a lag spike. And I was just like, okay. And I kept, having these tiny little lag spikes until I noticed that my render distance might have been too high. So I fixed that. So, it might be the only lag spike you'll see. And I stole some crops because, obviously that's what you do in a village, because that seems like the right thing to do. Also, they don't need carrots and potatoes and, beetroots because they have seeds. They literally have hay bales. They're like, steal everything else from me. So I might as well do that. And, after, being a bit of a thief, I kind of went exploring. And I went exploring with the purpose of finding a home, which I obviously had my own criteria. I needed to have all of the 4 animals nearby. And I also needed to have some sort of a forest nearby. And lucky me, I found this beautiful pumpkin patch next to like a ghost that had a snowy plains, had a birch and oak forest nearby. I was just like, perfect. This will do. This is what I will call home. So, I did the everyday things that you do. You plop down a chest, you plop down a crafting table, you plop down a bed, and you're like, I'm here now. I'm living here now. So you have to deal with this. And that's what I did. I started crafting up food because I was like, oh, you know what? I have this. Like, this is perfect. I then decided to like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to build a building that has pumpkins as a roofing. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I will be doing it. So yeah, I became a pumpkin farmer at some point too. We'll get into that a bit later on. Let it be. Let it be. I then decided that, you know what, I need some coal, I need some iron, and I'm like next to like these little like hilltops. Hopefully they'll have some iron because I'm still in a hardcore world, meaning that there's a very high chance that I will die if I go to the caves. So lucky me, found some iron, found some coal, and just, having like, my purpose was to get enough coal and iron that I didn't have to stress about the idea of I'm going to the caves. I have nothing. I don't have iron armor. So my goal was to get the iron for the armor. And as I was collecting that, I was also like, so what do I want my series to be? Because, this isn't exactly the first hardcore series you'll see. And probably not the last one either. So I'm thinking, for my hardcore series, hear me out. For my hardcore series, my goal is to build a village that has every block in the game represented. Either in a build, as a decoration, as freaking flooring, I do not care. Like, literally, we're talking about pumpkins roofs. So, yeah. That also means raw iron blocks, which my brain just went on a little bit of a mode where it was like, what would work well with, like, raw iron blocks? But I think I can do it. But my biggest concerns would be, like, the end blocks would be the purple. Exactly. I don't like purple blocks because they look stupid. But I think I can implement them if necessary. And the same goes with thyroid. I hate thyroid. Like, I do use it in builds from time to time, but it's just not my favorite. And let it be. I also don't like granite, but it's okay. Let it be. You know what? It's I'm not gonna like ramble on about blocks, you know. Let's get back to the video. Let my goal be my goal. But yeah, that's pretty much the goal. Just start building a village that has every block represented. I think that would be a very cool idea. Obviously, there's a lot of blocks. There's like prismarine blocks and all that, which is a bit scary, but you know, it'll be fine. It'll be a-okay. I then, you know, get back to the video, you know, back to the main topic here. I became a pumpkin farmer, like I said earlier, because I was like, if I'm going to use like pumpkin as a roofing, I'm going to be needing a lot of pumpkins. Obviously, what I'm thinking is I'm going to have like a gradient with pumpkins, so I'll be using like, I don't know, honeycomb blocks? I don't know what else goes well with pumpkins. Maybe like orange terracotta, orange concrete. I just realized I need to use the glazed terracotta block. Think like I can do all of them. The magenta one will be a bit concerning, but I think I can hide it away. Like, have it peek from like some point, you know. I'll do it. I'm a genius. I got it. Back to the video. God, I'm so brains all over the place. Yeah, I became a pumpkin farmer. I also planted down some wheat because I need animals, because you know that's what a farmer's life is all about. That's what my life's all about. So doing that, I guess, is a thing. I was just like, you know what, I also have another thing I want to do. I want to go to the caves. I need more stuff. I need to get iron. I'm out of iron. I'm out of everything. So that's what I did. I went down the caves, you know, noticed that there's a lot of copper, thinking, you know, there should be copper tools that work the same as, you know, stone or gold. I don't care. One or the other would be amazing, but it's fine. I'm not complaining. Anyways, I was in the caves, but shit got too dicey, so I kind of left the caves pretty early on. I think I got a few pieces of iron, and it was nighttime when I got back, and I was just like, okay, I need to know where my home is, and then I realized, oh, I'm right by my home. This is amazing. And in the morning, I just started terraforming, because apparently that's something where my brain went. It was just like caving. Nope, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be tearing some dirt down, and I'm gonna be covering up this little watery area that I just kept drowning in. I'm not gonna put it in the video, but I did do that. So yeah, I hid that. I covered that up because that was just awful. It was just horrific. It was like the worst thing you could ever think about. But then again, it's me, so you know, it's fine. So yeah, I took the entire little hilltop down and flattened it out, terraformed it, and you know what? It looks so much better. I was really happy with this. I was like, you know what? This is amazing, and I could build my first ever like starter home in a hardcore world. And my goal for that was to build a shack, because usually when it goes to building a hardcore first starter house base thingamajig, it's always like this massive 2-3 floor high medieval freaking building that has a lot of like room in it, has a lot of areas for chests, has a lot of like that stuff. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna do things differently. I'm gonna do things my way. And that's what I did. I pretty much just opened up my chest. I was like, I have some cobblestone, I have some spruce, I might as well build a shack. And that's what I did. I literally built a shack. Obviously, when I was building it, at first I was like, okay, this is gonna look horrific. This is gonna be the worst thing that's gonna be, you know, built. And I started doubting myself, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I think it will look great once I start like putting in the little details and maybe, you know, mixing some andesite into the cobblestone as well, like break up the texture. I will say, like, after noticing how it looks, I did realize that I might need to like, change more cobblestone out. I don't feel like andesite, but I don't have enough andesite, so I will do it some other episode. And also, like, as I was building this, I was just like, this is just gonna be like start a thing. There will be a point where I will be like, this house is too small for me. I need to move out. And what am I gonna do with this? I'm not gonna break it because it's like the first build you do in your world, right? So what I'm thinking is, because I did kind of build it next to the shore, next to the coastline, I might as well later convert it into like a little like fishing hut, have a little bit of a porch going to the coastline, and maybe some like fishing dock. Just have like fishing area. I think that would be like a very, very cool idea. I will say, like, building this shack, my brain just did the brain thing where it was like, oh, I need to put like this block in, I need to put that block in, and I ended up with stripped spruce, cobblestone, andesite, birch and oak for the roofing. I think it looks cool for like a shack. I will say I am thinking of putting a chimney in next time, or maybe like doing something, because I think it's just missing that little chimney. I think it will make it look so much better. And then obviously I did some more, building, more andesite placing, and as I was doing this, was just like, yeah, like this is easy. Like I can do cobblestone, I can do spruce. Like this is not a problem. The problems are gonna be like the blocks further down the line. And one of the other blocks that kind of like popped in my brain was like obviously nether whatever the fuck it's called, nether brick. I think these are gonna be the more painful blocks to work with because they're very dark blocks. Same goes with, obviously black concrete, which is just black. So that's just fun. But it's a future problem. Back to my problem. My problem mainly was when I was building my shack, I was just like, I'm taking everything out of my chest. Meaning that I will not be grinding for materials. And as you can see, I just kept running towards the trees, kept running towards the caves, just all over the place because I didn't have enough. Here I thought building a shack, you don't need a lot. Lots of stuff, but surprise, you do. Spruce was the main concern, obviously, because wood is a thing. Luckily, I did add it in the vanilla tweaks that will like make me craft more trapdoors, make me craft more stairs, because using 6 planks for 2 trapdoors is just stupid. So I fixed that problem by adding in the vanilla tweak that makes you craft more trapdoors. So instead of 2, I'll have 12. And I think like by the end of it, it looks great. My neighbors, however, they were just very hostile about it. I was just like, you know what? I'm not having this. This is now like a neighborhood block brawl. And that's pretty much what happened. We just rolled it out and I won. So here's the pretty much the building done. I think it looks great. And further down the line, I think it would be a great fishing hut if you add more barrels to it, all those little thingamajigs. But you know what? I think I need to go back to the caves. And that's what I did. I went back to the caves. I was like, I need iron. I am so out of iron. Using lanterns, bad idea if you only have like 14 iron to your name. So that's what I did. I went down the caves and went all the way to deep slate level, turned left and found a mine shaft. I was like, oh, nice, a mine shaft. Lucky me. Even better, found diamonds. And I was just like, oh, this looks so rigged. This is just, it looks so rigged. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take the 2 diamonds. Found a slime. I was like, oh, I'll kill the slime. No, did I know? Slimes hit hard. I was like, you know what, buddy? I need to like step back. I need to eat and then we'll fight later. And that's what I did. I just pretty much went back, ate the food, and went to fight later too. And I realized there was also a zombie waiting for me. Then, I went more down the caves, found more diamonds, and just by the end of the like caving, I think I had like 35 diamonds to my name. I also found like the biggest cluster of diamonds ever, which is just like, I was just like, wow, lucky me. I am so lucky. And I just was like, yep, I'm getting too lucky. So I then decided to leave the games, only to realize I have no idea where I am. Using the water, I got back up to see exactly where I was. Lucky for me, I saw my own shack, knowing that, yep, I'm home. We're good. We golden. And then obviously rushed back to my shack because I was like, you know what? This has been a very eventful first episode. I'm still, live and kicking. I have like 35 diamonds to my name. I think I'm good to go. I think if I don't end this like episode now, I'm gonna die. Because I'm just all over the place. So that's what I did. I just pretty much said bye-bye to all of you. Obviously, you cannot hear me because I goofed up the recording. That's on me. My sorries. But if you do like the series, that will be amazing. If you like my call, that's even more amazing. So like, subscribe, comment, all that shit, my bob. And bye-bye. Love ya.